Looking at Ohio State, I picked them to win the national championship in the preseason. We can't say this is at all surprising, to be honest with you, to see him play in this way. Just curious why we didn't get it earlier in the season. What do you think has changed for Ohio State these last couple of weeks to now see them playing at a level that really we haven't quite seen in a long time?
Well, I think you can attribute it to two things. One, if you look at who their play caller is, Chip Kelly. Chip has always been, at least in my opinion, you can tell me if you agree or disagree. Chip has always been a run guy. Like even if you go back to the days of Oregon, yeah, they threw the football, but it was a run-based offense. And so now Chip comes to Ohio State, and he's got Travion Henderson, and they're running the football. You get Quinshawn Judkins, and now it's going to be even more run. And I think Ohio State fell into this trap of, yeah, even though we have Ibuka, even though we have Tate, and we got this unicorn in Jeremiah Smith, we're still going to run the football. And I think at a certain point during the season, um, somebody got the chip and they said, "Hey, throw the football to four." Like it's not hard. Throw it to four, run your offense through that. I get it. You want to run the football, and we spent $1.5 million or whatever the number is on Judkins from Ole Miss. Doesn't matter. Throw the football. And we've seen this evolution, McElroy, from Chip Kelly being a run-centric coordinator to they throw the football all over the lot right now. And it's much easier to get explosive plays in the passing game than it is in the run game. Think about it. The run game, you got to get sometimes 9, 10 guys on the same page to create an explosive run. In the pass game, it's one on one. Yeah, you got to block them up front, but it's usually one on one or one on two. And if you make a guy miss, you can score a touchdown. And so I think Chip has figured out that his best player is number four, and his best position group is the wide receiver group, and they're getting the football to them. It took a little while, but we're here now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The other thing that's been different about watching Ohio State, I don't know how you felt about them. I've watched that defensive line for a long time, years, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. I've watched them. I've always felt, man, I wish I got more from that group. Like I'd see glimpses, I'd see flashes, but I didn't often see down in, down out dominance like we've seen the last couple weeks. And I don't know what's changed. Like what the heck happened? Why is it different now? Like you played D line. Why is it that that group went from being, I don't want to call them underwhelming because that seems a little unfair, but why now all of a sudden did they go from being a slight underachieving group to now a completely dominant group that no one can block?
So I think, usually every position group, in my opinion, is led by the best players. And if the best players set the standard, then the standard is going to be upheld, and it's going to be a very high standard. But when your best players don't necessarily play their best, then the standard is lowered. And what I mean by that is I've heard a lot about Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau for a long time. Like they are like icons when it comes to recruiting, and these five-star guys, they haven't quite set the standard as being top of the line guys as far as their play and their effort week in and week out. I feel like now, especially in the last few weeks, you've started to see those two guys have played at an elite level. And as I said, when your high end guys play to that top level, now the other guys start to come and they say, okay, I want to get to that level. I want to play like he's playing. And now you get your inside guys going and you get some more movement, some stunts, and you get these athletes playing in space. And on top of that, let's face it, I think Ohio State now sees the light at the end of the tunnel. All the pressure and all the expectations that were heaped on this team by you and me and other people maybe were a bit much, and starting with the Michigan game. But now we're like in the last, we're in this tournament where you win, you move on, you lose, you go home. We've seen their best performance here lately. When you look at what they did against Tennessee, how they played Oregon, and they know if they win two more games, they win the national championship, and they can get rid of the Michigan game. I think from being talked about. I think those two factors are the reason why we're seeing a defensive line now that's playing at an elite level. And quite frankly, this is the level that you expect five stars to play at, right? Like you
Yeah.
expect them to play at this elite level, and it's just a shame for Ohio State fans that we haven't gotten it all season, but we're getting it now.